Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Supportive oracle cards will be the Akashic Tarot by Sharon Ann Klingler and Saren Ann Taylor. I know it says it's a tarot deck, but I noticed there's no pages, there's no knights. There's certain things that are different. It's very tarot inspired, but even the major arcana has some major differences in my opinion. So I treat it as an oracle deck. I do love it. I think it's a great deck. Just in case you're wondering, it says tarot, you're calling it an oracle deck, but that's how I treat it. That's how I use it. Great deck though. I like it. So I didn't want to just not use it because I didn't think it fit as a tarot deck. So I figured I'd just use it as an oracle deck. Alright, and for those of you who don't really follow tarot that closely, it probably won't matter. But for those of you who are you're trying to follow tarot, or that's something that means something to you, I feel like that'll make better sense. That's interesting. Okay. The situation, you're starting off Five of Roses, the garden. This is a very hopeful, when I'm looking into this situation for you, when I'm looking at this picture, to me it's like you have a lot of hopes here. The situation is nowhere near finished. It's kind of it reminds me of raising children. Like you have hopes and dreams and aspirations. There's a lot to be done. You're not going to send a 5-year-old out to, make a living. You're not going to just send them out good luck, go heading down the street, make something happen there. You're not going to do that. You're going to be like, okay, it's a 5-year-old. I have to look out for the 5-year-old, make sure this gets done, make sure that gets done. You know what I mean? Make sure they get fed, make sure they remember to do what they're supposed to do, help them learn what they need to learn. That's kind of the feeling of this situation. This doesn't have to be a kid situation. I feel like for a lot of you, this is like a work situation, kind of there's a lot going on here. And it may be people, you're dealing with a few different people, and it gets a little childish between them. That could be happening. And you're constantly kind of coaxing people to back off, or getting people to see a situation for what it really is. Kind of that person there, that's their thing. They just like to mess with people. It's not worth getting upset about. Just ignore their comments, or read between the lines, take what you need, and just walk away from them. You don't have to hang out with them more than that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you're trying to tend to the situation. I also feel like you're kind of trying to give people another perspective, kind of the situation like this, you don't have to get that upset about it. We just need to work around it. Let's just do what we need to get done and not get overly amped up about somebody who's just kind of playing games. I'm getting that too. That seems to be quite strong. Trying to get other people to not get upset about another person who's just playing games and just causing issues just because they're bored, or this just what they do. Now, this came in upside down. Okay. Six of Swords, or not Six of Swords, Six of Wands upside down. I don't want to say it's defeat, but I think it is. The thing is, it's not directly happening to you. You're more of the observer here. It feels like defeat. It feels like defeat. It feels like somebody is causing trouble, and somebody's trying to just... It's like they're amusing themselves. They're causing trouble, and the reason they're doing it is they're bored, or they just want to entertain themselves, and it backlash is bad. There's a backlash here. It's almost all of a sudden this person finds out that people don't want to hang out with them for lunch anymore, or people are just flat out ignoring them. They call these people now and they won't answer their phone calls. They start blocking them on social media. It's kind of like they really ticked off the wrong people, and this time they really did it good. I don't know about arguments, but I know about it seems like backlash. They annoyed too many people, and now people are just kind of shunning them. I feel like being shunned. I kind of feel that energy here, and you're observing this. The lightning bolt comes in. When I feel this, it feels a lot like the Tower card, which is when I said in the beginning, this deck's a little different because it's using the Eight of Forces, but it feels like the Tower card to me. Bam, we're hitting here. Like this is a shock to this person. Like the backlash, like it's like they literally didn't think that was going to happen. They didn't expect people to get that upset with them, and for all of this to happen the way it is. Like they're literally being like shunned. You're watching this. You're watching this happen, and at this point, there's nothing you can really do. You're kind of like, well, people are upset, and maybe this person needs to learn this lesson. Like you mess with people long enough, they're not going to take your crap. They're just going to walk away from you, and you're left on your own. You can't expect to mess with people and treat people like dirt and think it's funny, and then just to go, oh, okay, that's fine. No, you tick them off long enough, they're going to just walk away from you, and you're just watching it and you're observing, and you're like, I feel like you're kind of looking at this like, I don't know if I can really help this person, but maybe there's going to be a point here where I can have a talk with them and point out, like, hey, that's how you're going to treat people. That's what you're going to get. You can't really feel bad about it if you set it up. If you did it to yourself, I can't feel bad for you either, not for nothing. That's kind of how you're looking at them. All right. Another upside down card. And I'm saying that because I put two of them face down, and when I flip them, they're both upside down. The Queen of Keys, the Willow kind of jacked over to the side. This is how it looks. The Willow's on the top here. The Willow's kind of okay. The Queen of Keys is behind the whole situation. And there's this other one, I think is it Reflection? Reflection. I feel like somebody's trying to play the victim here. Because they have the Ace of Swords goes on top of this, but it's upside down. And I feel like somebody's trying to really come forward as if, I've been wronged. This isn't right. You guys are treating me in a way that's not fair. I'm being singled out. I'm being bullied. I feel like somebody's saying that. Literally somebody's going like, oh, I'm being bullied. And other people are like, no, you're not being bullied. You're getting what you deserve. It's not looking good right now. I have to be honest with you. For this person, and you're watching this, because they're trying to play it off like, that this is not their fault, but it is their fault. That's the thing. The Willow to me is telling me the situation is not completely destroyed. It may be going through a moment where it looks kind of beat up and broken, but the thing about the Willow, it survives. Even when you think it's dead, it's not dead. It's going to come back. You can even take a sprig of it, stick it in the ground, and it will start growing. So, like, the situation is not done, but I feel like that's another way this person is handling it. Like, life is over. They're being bullied. This isn't fair. It's not true. They kind of did it to themselves. The Reflection... No, this is the Queen of Keys. The Queen of Keys, is this person? They're trying to manipulate a new situation. They're trying to manipulate a new situation. They're trying to get people to do what they want. They want to be able to treat people like dirt and get away with it. I feel like they're treating people badly, is what it is. Even if to them it's amusing, other people are upset. They get upset when they do this. So it's treating people badly. And they got the Queen of Keys here. I feel like that's somebody else stepping back who's normally involved, but they're stepping back, and somebody's like, I'm not going to fix this for them. I'm not going to do it. Your energy is not coming into it either. So you could be that Queen of Keys energy. Depends how you feel about the situation. Because somebody has the ability to smooth this over, but they're like, no, because every time I smooth it over, it just happens again. It just perpetuates. It perpetuates, and it's not okay. I will not step in and fix it. Because the Queen of Keys is buried. And the Reflection is not right. The Reflection is like other people are saying, you know what, no, we know what you've done. You're not being bullied. You caused the situation. But it's kind of jacked to the side because it's kind of like this person's like, no, I didn't do it that way. That's not what I did. That's being misinterpreted. You're making something to be a mountain, and it's just a molehill, and it's not that big of a deal. And like it's back and forth. I feel you watch this, you're not enjoying this. I'm feeling that energy, so that's what I'm feeling for Libra. This is not at all entertaining or a good time for you in any sense. The fact that this person is not owning up to their problem and trying to act like the victim, and you're like, you're not the victim. Dude, you're not the victim. You're the one who caused this. You created your own mess, and now you're upset because people are making you pay for your own mess. It's like the little kid who messes up their whole room, and they have a temper tantrum in the room, and they break their toys, and then they want to go play with their toys, and they can't because they're all broken, and they're crying and wailing, and they're like, this isn't fair, they're complaining that the toys are broke, but then they're blaming it on other people when they broke their own toys. That's kind of how that feels. And they're complaining they can't play with their toys, but it's their own fault. It's their own fault because they broke them. Because they were having a bad moment. That's kind of what I'm getting. And you're like, you feel bad about it, but you're kind of like, you did it to yourself. Like, but you're also seeing if this person's not willing to own that, like, there's nothing for you to fix. If this person isn't willing to own this, there's nothing you can fix. You just got to let it be. Because you're like, I'm not going to enable this person to create more of a mess. I'm not going to go buy this kid a bunch of new toys, spend hundreds of dollars, just so next week they can have another tantrum and then end up in the same spot. What am I going to do? Keep buying them a couple $100 worth of toys every week? I don't think so. The wheel turns in the environment. And I'm noticing the Chariot. Things get really busy. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever this problem is, whoever this is, not willing to own their own situation, life seems to take a quick, things go fast. Things start going really quick. There's no time to complain about it at this moment. The wheel turns, telling me something comes into the environment, it has to be handled. The Chariot pops in with it. So it's almost like this situation goes onto the back burner, kind of like, got other things got to do, can't deal with that right now. And we rush forward with this other stuff we need to handle. So for a minute here, I don't know if it's like a pause or almost like it's letting the situation just kind of settle down for a while and just kind of, seep into like what's really going on here. But either way, there's a stepping away. There's a stepping away from the problem for a while. Now when I say a while, it could be a few weeks, it could be a few months. What comes in next? The situation, I feel like this person, they had to deal with what they did. There was the situation, the environment got too busy where people just ignored them, and they just took a break from them. They didn't want to deal with them. They had other things they had to do. Other things were more important, so they just kind of continued not dealing with them. Just kind of left them off on their own. You want to be a little brat? You want to be a little jerk? Be a little jerk on your own. I got other things that are more important to do. So when things got busy, this person was left on their own a little longer, like they were basically shunned, continued to be shunned. At some point, I feel like somebody's like, all right, maybe this has been long enough. And somebody starts trying to pull this person back into the group. Because I'm getting the Ten of Pentacles with the Spring and Autumn. But when they're getting pulled back into the group, it's kind of like, it's like this excommunication it was temporary, and now people are starting to slowly bring them back in. When I'm getting the Spring Autumn, it's kind of like, here's your chance. Either you straighten up and fly right, and from here on forward, you realize you gotta act better, and if you correct your behavior and keep moving forward the way you should be and treating people the way you should, you can stay a part of the situation. But if they bring this person back in and this person repeats that same pattern, if that kid breaks their toys again, they're done. They're like, we're done. Like, never buying you a toy again. Like, they're done in the sense of, like, if they bring them back in and they cause problems, next time they push them out, next time they shun them, they're permanently done. It's like their last chance. It's kind of like last chance. This is your last chance. Now, I don't feel like this makes you feel like you got the muse, but you got it reversed. You're not really feeling inspired about this. This does not make you feel good. In the sense of like, this person screws up, and you know that they're going to screw up again. And I feel like you're looking at this like, I don't know, you can't expect a miracle, but at the same time, you're like, you can't expect these people to put up with it at the same time. So you're kind of I feel like you're just kind of holding back, and you're not really sure what to do with it. The thing is, you're gonna be a part of this at some point where you're gonna have to like help make a decision. You might have to help. I feel like you're gonna have to help show that this person has made progress, because you know they're gonna screw up again, and I think that's the muse upside down again. Like you know they're gonna screw up again. You know they're gonna screw up again. You're like, there's no way they're not. But at this point, you're kind of watching, kind of like you're hoping they make enough improvement so you can show other people like, no, they're doing a little better. They're doing the best they can. let's not be harsh. Let's not get rid of them. Let's just kind of like call out the bad behavior when it happens, and keep them progressing, keep them improving. Because you're like, no, they're gonna screw up. This is not gonna be a miracle situation. They do things. They do some really bad things, and it's gonna take them some time to improve. They're not just gonna be able to like, oh, everything's cool. It's not gonna work. And you're like, no, they're not. This isn't gonna work. So you're watching and you're waiting and you're planning. You're like, I feel like you're gathering information to like help this person, but you're also realizing at the same time they got to do their part. They got to really try to do better, and then you want to try to help them improve because you're like, I want to help them improve. And if they do go the right direction and they slip up because they're going to fall, they're going to have problems, you want to be there to help make the situation continue and not just have it crash and burn and be, well, you were starting to do better, but you made one screw up, so goodbye. You don't want that to happen. It seems like this means a lot to you. This is like really important. Kind of like if this person is trying, we want to make sure we help them keep trying. And you're like, expecting a miracle is not realistic in this situation. The star card shows up in the environment. This is the last card. There's a lot of hope for this situation, but I feel like you are, at this point, this is where you're at your most important in the situation. This is your most important moment. To watch what this person's doing, to try to, I feel like you got to kind of coach them a little bit, but I feel like you got to be careful of that too. But it's more about you absorbing and watching and talking to this person's favor when you can, coaching them in the right direction when you can, but you got to be careful. Don't get too close because you might get pulled into something because they're going to screw something up. So just be careful. Don't be a part of the screw up when they screw it up. You got to be on the outside of it. Make sure you stay on the outside of it. And then when you get the moment to talk to their advantage, kind of like, listen, they've made all this progress, all this progress, all this progress. It's like a kid walking. When they start to walk, when they start to learn to walk, even if they start right off walking, they're going to fall on their face a couple times. It's just how it works. You know what I mean? You got to learn. You got to get your balance. You got to get yourself together. I really feel like make sure you stay on the outside. I think it's really good you staying on the outside this whole time because you're able to absorb the information and you're going to be able to use it later to help this person. Whether they deserve it or not, it's a general read, I can't say. But I just feel like you're going to be looking at this like you're going to have all the information piled together and kind of like, all right, let's not make this critical at the end here. They're starting to do better. Let's keep inspiring them to continue to do better instead of like expecting miracles because it's not going to work that way. All right, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.